Hello beautiful people, and you're welcome to my channel. If you're an old subscriber, you're welcome back, and if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. Subscription is free, and please give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below if you have any question, and please share to your friends and family. So today we are going to be making samosa and spring rolls wrappers. Let's get right into it. This recipe, you'll be needing 1 cup of flour. I already added half teaspoon of salt inside my flour. I'll be using some sugar, some cornstarch or corn flour, and some water as well. I will start by measuring 2 level teaspoons of sugar inside my flour. Then I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. So I'm using half tablespoon, that's why I'm using 2 half tablespoons. And you mix gently. Then you start adding half cup of water. I have in here just half cup of water. Mix this gently until it forms a dough. You don't want a stretchy dough. You just want, once the dough comes together, you want to stop kneading, because we don't want a stretchy dough for this. So just mix this gently until the dough comes together. So once it comes together like this, allow this to rest for about 5 to 10 minutes. Once the dough is rested for about 10 minutes, I'm going to start rolling it out. We are not using non-stick pan for this. So I have in here my oil. I'm going to also be using my rolling pin, and I'll also be using some flour to dust the surface. So I will start by dusting my work surface. I will take out the dough, and I'm going to be cutting this into 2 equal parts. So I will firstly be making my samosa wrappers. One part is for samosa wrappers and the other part is for spring rolls wrappers. So I will firstly be making my samosa wrappers. For samosa wrappers, I will be cutting the first part into another 5 parts. You just use eyeball to do this, because I'm not measuring with scale. It's going to take time when you use scale. So just use eye to eyeball this, and then you have your 5 dough. The next thing is I'll be taking each dough and I'll be rolling it into some sort of circle like this, like you have seen in the video. So I'll be rolling all the 5 separate dough. I'll be rolling it separate. This doesn't take much time. Just until it forms a little bit of circle. It doesn't have to be perfect. So I'll be taking one part of the dough after rolling all the 5 dough. I'll be taking one and I'll be rolling it to become a little bit more larger than the rest, because this is going to be the base. This is going to be the first dough. So I want this to be a little bit more larger than the rest of the dough. That's why I rolled it out more. So I'll be using, with the aid of my brush, I'll be brushing some oil on top of the dough. Then I'm going to be dusting this with flour, and I'm going to be placing another dough on top of it. We are going, we have 5 rolled out dough, so we are going to be placing all the 5 rolled out dough on top of each other, one by one. So for each dough, you are going to be rubbing some oil with the aid of your brush. Then you are going to dust it with flour as you have seen. Then you are going to place another one on top, just like that. So this is the 4th dough. The same process. So the last dough, you are not going to rub oil on that, but dust it with flour. So the last dough, the dough on the top, you are not going to rub oil on it. Dust it with flour so that it won't stick to your rolling pin, because you are going to be rolling it out. So you want to start rolling this now, but you don't want to roll it finished. You don't want to just roll it until all the 5 dough are well stick together. So I'm going to put this aside, and I'm going to be taking the second part of the cutout dough. We divided the dough into 2, and we already formed our samosa wrappers. So I'm going to take the second part of the dough, and I'm going to be dividing this into 6 parts. Yes, I'll be dividing it into 6 parts. So I'm trying to make sure it is all the same size. So I'm going to be separating this into three parts, and then I'm going to be rolling it out and putting all the dough on top of each other as I have did for the samosa wrappers. So this is for spring roll wrappers. Okay, so I'll be brushing oil on top of it, but instead of 5 dough that we line together, I'm going to be lining this 3 by 3, just 3 by 3, 3 for the first one and 3 for the second one. So after lining it up, I'm going to roll this out, and I'm going to do the same for the second 3 as well. So these will be 3 dough lines on top of each other. So I have 3 parts now. The first part is for the samosa wrapper, which is 5 dough lines on top of each other. The second part is 3, and the third part is 3 as well for my spring rolls. So for my samosa wrappers, I'm going to be rolling this until I'm going to roll this to form like a sort of rectangular shape, because I'm going to be cutting the samosa wrappers from it. So I want the kind of rectangular shape just like this. I'm going to roll it until it is very thin. You don't want it to be too thin, just like an half an inch thick. Okay, so then I'm going to be putting this on my pan. You can use any pan for this. Just make sure you rub oil inside the pan with the aid of your brush before you place the dough on top of it. So you have to be flipping this. Some people don't flip it, they just flip it twice, but I flip mine like 4 to 5 times because I don't want it to burn. So to continue flipping it until you see that bubble popping on top of it, that means yes, once you try to open it and it's open like this, that means the dough is ready. And now we have our wrappers. So allow this to cool down a little bit, just for like 30 seconds. Then you start removing your wrappers. You have to be very gentle with this. So this video is on a little bit of speed, that's why it looks like I'm doing this fast, but I'm very careful while removing this because I don't want the wrappers to tear. Okay, so be careful while doing this. It's very delicate, as you can see there. So you have to be and make sure you oil the dough very well. You oil and flour the dough very well so it won't stick together. It is very easy, but you have to be careful while doing this, especially for the third wrapper because it's the most thin one. So you have to be careful while removing the third part so it won't tear, and then you make sure you remove it. So this is the last two remaining, and then we have 5 big samosa wrappers. Remember, we are going to be trimming this to make our samosa wrappers. So you want your samosa wrappers to be big like this, so you'll be able to trim it to any size you want. Then you are going to repeat the process for your spring roll wrappers as well. The 3 dough line on top of each other. So you have 6 wrappers for your spring rolls. So now we are going to be cutting the wrappers. Look how amazing this wrapper is. It is really good and very crunchy as well, even when cold. I know many people have problem with this, but use this recipe and trust me, once you follow all the procedure and method used in this video, you are going to get a perfect result. So I'm trimming the end. The end is kind of thicker than the rest of the wrappers, so I'm trying to trim the end. Then I'm going to be cutting this into 4 segments. Okay, yeah, sorry, I cut this into 3 segments. Yes, so I have the total of 15 samosa wrappers. If you want to learn the liquid method, I'm going to put the link in the description box. And we have come to the end of this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.